Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the SpongeBob SquarePants movie on the Xbox. I'm emulating it on Xbox 360 via backwards compatibility. I am Tedious, and I'm joined by Purple Foundation, who is the second place in this game. Introduce yourself, Purple. Okay.
What do I say?
It's not that hard, okay? Just tell them that you're Welsh, and
Oh,
you're
okay, but you already said my name. I don't know what to say after that. And you said I'm second. That's less. Okay. You did the introductory thing last time. I said I'm Pibble Foundation. I'm second place. I didn't say anything else.
Listen. It's okay. Anyways, Purple has been running the game for over a year now. Closer to 2 years, isn't it, actually?
I've been running since August 2016.
Yeah, that's quite a while. I've only been running this game for nearly a year. By the time of the event, it will have been, like, nearly a year. It will have actually been a year, actually. So the way this works is when we choose our autosave preference, that is when we start the timer. And we're going to be picking no, because if you pick yes, then you have to save your game after every, like, token. And as you can imagine, that's pretty slow. It's not that slow on Xbox 360, it only loses just like a few frames. But it's still not ideal. So we're not going to be saving our game. And we're going to start on 3, 2, 1, go. And now we are loading into No Cheese. And if you've ever seen the movie, that's pretty much the same way how that starts. Basically, SpongeBob needs to get to the Krusty Krab because Phil's Krabby Patty does not have cheese on it. And because we're the manager, that's our problem. So, we're going to be getting to the Krusty Krab to fix this issue. So we're coming up to the first skip in the game. This is called Slide Skip. Basically what we're going to do here is we're going to slide on this rock. We're going to slide off at an angle, and that gives us enough speed to jump up here. So we skip having to lower that platform. Now we're going to hit these boxes, jump up on the boxes, and then jump out of bounds. We're going to spin off this ledge here, and that's going to give us enough distance to grab that ledge there. So we skip a wall jump. And then we're going to jump on this trampoline, and that is the entirety of No Cheese. It's about a minute long. Oops, I accidentally split. Okay. I tried to pause before I hit that token, and the reason for that is if you pause at the same time that you acquire a token, you can warp. So basically you're able to skip that animation.
Is another one frame.
Yeah, it's a one frame. You can get a second frame off of it, but it's useless there. And it's a very risky thing to go for. I missed Creek Skip, but that's okay. It's a very finicky trick. A lot of people will miss it.
It's like the heavy reset point in the run.
The heaviest early game one, anyway. Alright, we hit all the Creek buttons. Second try, that's not bad. Alright, I'm gonna walk back there so I can get the warp for this token. So I'm gonna attempt another one frame. If I get it, then I can warp back to that spot. This one was found recently. It was found by me. We had theorized that it would be possible, but no one knew that the task was unlocked just by walking a little bit to the left. So people tried it, but they couldn't warp anywhere. Oh, I didn't quite get it. So we're warping back to that token.
One thing to note is that most of these games levels are based off the actual movie.
Yes, most
But
of them.
some of them just aren't, like Sunday Driving.
We'll get more into that when we get to that part.
But still, if you've seen the movie and you see the scene where SpongeBob's in the bar with Goofy Goober and Patrick, like you'll recognize some of these assets.
Yeah. So now we're getting our first unlocked ability in the game. Something interesting to note is, in Battle for Bikini Bottom, SpongeBob is the fastest character in that speedrun, but for this one, Patrick is the fastest because of this ability. It allows him to travel faster on foot.
Cartwheels like the best ability in the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, it would be so slow without it. You could have one-framed that token as well. You can one-frame a lot of the early tokens, so
We try to one frame a lot of them.
yeah. You don't typically go for the late game ones because I don't know, they're not really essential. Alright, I missed the setup to jump on that lamp, but I recovered it pretty quickly. Recovering that is pretty bad. So what we just did there was, we jumped on that bookshelf, and then we used a bit of the level's weird geometry to get additional jumps, to be able to jump over there, which is the last token of the level, so we just skipped having to go all the way around.
Because we walked back to the first token, we skipped a massive part of the level.
Yeah. And there's no tokens over there as well, so we're not missing out on much.
We do come back to I'm Ready Depression later on, though.
That's right. I I just want to note that I started this level not going anywhere. That's because I was holding the R trigger because I've been playing Simpsons. Yeah, the R trigger is what you use in this game to nitro. Also, this is the first driving level of the game. There's not a lot to break here. You can get out of bounds, and you can actually finish the level, but it isn't faster. I might pull it out just as the marathon strat, because it does look cool. But for right now, we're at the helm of the paddy wagon.
We also want to manage our nitros really carefully. Like, it does make a difference for high-level play. Yeah, you can save frames by using the nitros on specific parts. Like, if you go across water, you usually want to use a nitro there. Like, the little things like that make a difference for top-level runners.
Yeah, the way I store my nitros is especially crucial in this level in particular. You saw I use them in the park area. That is because we're not losing time by slowing down on the grass.
There are sections similar to this, the sliding levels, however they do not have nitros.
Yeah.
But they're fast enough on their own, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, the slide levels are really fast in this game.
I prefer them over the driving levels.
Most people do. Alright, so now we're getting probably the best thing in the game. Let me just turn that on. What does that do? Well, it makes SpongeBob in the Mermaid Man costume. But what does that do for the speedrun? Well, it makes us look cooler.
It loses a few seconds, but it's worth it.
It's worth it, dude. We'll never get a bad Dennis 2 again.
Dennis 2 RNG.
Red Moss person. Red Moss is actually going to this event.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
A lot of people going.
Dude, yeah, everybody in this community is going. Really
Apart
cool.
from me, said.
Yeah, that's just what the UK does. That's why I'm submitting this game and not Purple. But Purple's really good now.
Hey.
So that was sandwich driving, my bad. That was sandwich driving 101. And now we're moving on to 3,000 miles to Shell City.
If you really like the level, don't worry, we're gonna do it again.
Don't worry. Alright, I know you're clenching the edge of your seats here, but don't worry. You'll see it again. Please do go on, tell more.
I'd rather not.
Alright, so now we're Mermaid Man SpongeBob. Out in the desert.
Be sure not to
We out here. Alright, this is the spitter enemy. And the way you would normally kill them is by bashing into them, which is an ability we just got, but we don't really bash into enemies. Rather, we bash into the air. And that's particularly useful in this level, because we're skipping across all these gaps by bashing in the air.
This mechanic is... it's specific to this game, because in Battle for Bikini Bottom, if you want to do this, you have to get a one frame, whereas in this game, we can just hold the button.
Yeah. Basically, that lets you act out of the game, returning you to your original position as well. Because you can hold the B button, which is the bowl later on, and you can act out of the resetting with that as well. Alright, so we just bash boost up there to the cave, and we open the cave up, which gives us the bungee challenge warp, which we're gonna use in a little bit. We're gonna hit this button, and that's gonna put a token at the end of that, which we're gonna get when we do the bungee. We're doing this in this order because it's the fastest way to do it. It cuts out the most walking. The routes have changed quite a bit depending on which console you play on. For example, you would not do it like this on PlayStation 2.
Speaking of routes, there was a new one developed a couple months ago.
Yeah, there was a new route developed by... Actually, it was developed by you.
Yeah. It saves around 40 seconds.
Yeah.
And we'll get to it a bit later.
The first major reroute is 2 segments from this one.
Oh yeah, this is a SpongeBob level. If you've seen Battle for Bikini Bottom and you've seen the SpongeBob, imagine that except like specific levels for them, and then that's what these basically are.
Yeah, SpongeBob has the sponge ball challenges, and Patrick has the floating block challenges.
This is also another area where we can try and get a 1 frame on the token. Though. We can do that in all of them, I think, apart from the Planktopolis one.
Yeah, you could, but it isn't.
It's not fast.
Yeah. The only place that you could warp that's even remotely around there is actually just the SpongeBob again, but that's not. What is that gonna do for you?
It's fast.
It's fast, dude. Saving time.
Oh yeah.
Sub 130, here I come.
This is just there's many of these in the game, but you just hit all the targets. It's kind of similar to the Sinido level in Battle for Bikini Bottom.
Yeah, going under the target allows you to infinitely bob downward as long as you don't go as far down as you can.
Now we're coming to a major part of 3K and what makes it interesting.
Yeah, this trick that we're about to do here is called Patrick Gets Themed Early. And if you aren't familiar with this game, then you might question why it is named after Patrick. It's because this token that we're about to get is called Patrick Gets Themed. And it's supposed to be
We're supposed to do it as Patrick.
Yeah, but interestingly enough, if you don't want to go for this harder strat, what you would do is you would still get it as SpongeBob through a different means.
You just double jump spin.
Yeah.
TDS has to be very careful maneuvering around these parts, because if he even slips up a tiny bit, he can lose all his health. Because throughout the entire run, we only have 3 health.
Yep. But I got it just fine.
Alright, this is a good run so far.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I only missed Creek. Which, I mean, that's just something you count on.
We're now getting into the floating block level that TDS mentioned earlier, and these are specific to Patrick.
Yeah, I'm gonna upgrade Cartwheel going into this one.
We can only skip one of them, but we'll get to that a lot later. It's a 1 frame trick.
In this challenge, in this game, you do all of the floating block challenges and all of the SpongeBob challenges because they're fast. There's another type of challenge in this game called the Combat Arena Challenge, and you only do one of those in this run. Now the reason for that is because they're all really slow. Basically, you fight a lot of enemies in 3 different waves. Actually, no, I misspoke. You do 2. There's one in Depression that we're gonna come back to, and there's one in Planktopolis.
We didn't used to get the one in Depression, but another route discovered around a year ago allows us to do that, and SCDA Guitar Challenge.
It's just funky, you know. We never really anticipated that this game had rerouting potential for the longest time, and what do you know, we've seen like 2 in the past year.
Hopefully we find another one to get rid of my favorite segment in the game coming up after this.
Oh, yes.
That'd be like my ultimate wish for this game, if we could just get rid of that segment.
We found some AR codes online for this game, and I think I haven't told you this actually. Yeah, we found some AR codes. We don't know what they do yet. I told Silux to put them in his emulator, but he hasn't gotten back to me on that. But if one of them is a token code, then we might want to make a different any % category where you start with enough tokens to where you wouldn't need to backtrack.
That'd be interesting, actually.
Yeah. Right now, the category serving that purpose is a new one called All World Tokens. Alright, so we skipped that arena fight to get to the last token in 3K, and I don't know, it was kind of sloppy actually. So now we're doing Purple's favorite segment in the game, one of them anyway.
Yeah.
Essentially, what we're gonna be doing here is we're gonna be driving a sandwich for 9 minutes. There are different challenges though.
Well, the best part about it is that the second time we drive the sandwich, it's even slower.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean it's a little more interesting.
Oh yeah, we do this we drive a sandwich quite a few times.
This is the only time we backtrack to do it though.
Yeah.
This is the only, like, really considerable grinding in the game, because the rest of it doesn't feel like grinding.
Oh yeah, it feels a lot more fun.
Yeah.
It's just this painful segment is in the way.
Well, okay, you want my take on this. I like this segment, and I know a friend of mine also likes the segment, because we agree that it's just, like, it's easy, and, like, it's a bit of a rest after... Because in 3K, you got a lot to think about.
I mean, I changed my route, so I do both of the rubber dubs right after 3K, and then I do sandwich driving. Don't want to miss dumb jump.
Yeah, you do the opposite of what I do. I do all of sandwich driving, and then I do all of rubber dub. Now, something kind of interesting to note is, how fast you can do these levels actually depends on the console you're playing on, and it even comes down to which, like, if you're, like, on backwards compatible or something like that. The reason for that is the different frame rates that this game runs at. It impacts how you're driving and how they choose to, like, compensate for your speed and such. Now, I'm playing on Xbox 360, which doesn't have that much of a difference in terms of loading times for Xbox, the original Xbox. But in terms of sandwich driving, it's the slowest. And the fastest is the GameCube version.
It gives you more time to intake the sandwich.
It gives you more time to think about what you're doing. You know, you're driving a sandwich, you can honk the horn. Which I'm demonstrating right now, it's very important.
I think the order from fastest sandwich to slowest sandwich is GameCube, PlayStation 2, Xbox Original, and then Xbox 360. I don't know where PS3 comes into that.
Yeah, that's actually something I want to talk about, is the PlayStation 3 version of this game. Let's just come out and say it, not a very good game. Basically, a lot of input delay. Just, it doesn't work.
It doesn't function.
It really doesn't, though. Have you seen that thing?
I've seen it.
Yeah, but it's rare, is the thing, because it was on digital download, and it's gone now. So if your PS3 has it, well, you got a rarity on your hands there. But I really want to buy a PlayStation that has this game on it, a PlayStation 3. Just to kind of, yeah, just to kind of see what, like, how it reacts with all these sorts of tricks.
It's so broken that I might even have specific tricks.
Yeah.
Which could potentially make it the fastest vision of the game, in theory.
Consider that, but that would also be, like, the rarest version as well, so it'd probably be in a different category.
Sad day.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're driving through hoops now, by the way.
I forgot to mention that.
That is the...
this is what I was talking about. This is the slower vision. However, you have to go through all things. If you fail, then you just have to restart the checkpoints.
This is the only early game mistake in the new world record. Is
oh yeah.
He grabbed one of the... He passed by one of the rings, so he had to turn around and get it, and he almost didn't. And he saved the run, which went on to get a 1:31.10.
We're talking about Chris the Fast 222, by the way, the legend.
I love him so much.
His PB's faster than my summer best, consider that.
Is it really?
Yeah, by like 28 seconds.
Ah, my summon best is much lower than yours then. Well, I have more
Yeah,
splits.
I have 25 splits.
I probably have like double that.
It's Chris.
It's Chris. My man.
Oh yeah, during the driving and sliding, I think during the sliding levels, SpongeBob is not Mermaid Man, but in the normal levels, he is Mermaid Man.
Maybe he's living a double life.
Ah,
That is,
let me take
Purple's
care
cat.
of that.
So we're almost done with the ring challenge now. And after this, we're gonna do the macho time challenge. So it doesn't really come into play here, but when you're doing these ring challenges, you might notice that the ring starts to turn red. That means you're running out of time to hit the ring. And for this level, it's not particularly problematic. It comes into play in the later ones. But we don't do most of those driving ones. In fact, we don't do any driving tokens after... Well, we do the driving tokens. We don't do any time or ring challenge tokens for the driving levels after these. Which is why we consider this to be the only grinding portion of the game. Alright, I don't know what Purple's doing. It does not take that long to deal with a cat. I freaking love his interactions with that cat, though, because every time it comes around, it just like, it meows like that, and he's just like, I don't care. It's pretty good.
I took care of the problem.
Oh no.
Had to do it to him.
Had to do it to him. Alright. We're done with ring challenge now, Purple.
Yes, boys. This is the last driving level, so don't worry.
That's not the last driving level, it's the last
Well, it's the last driving level in this segment.
Yeah. So we're gonna do the first slide level after this.
But don't worry, the paddy wagon comes back later.
And
Back in
again.
action.
And again. I like the other driving levels more than this one, though.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, the other ones just have cooler themes. This is just, like, Bikini Bottom. I know there's probably one driving level in mind that you don't like very much.
Yep, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has a cool trick to it,
Yeah. Yeah.
and the backgrounds are nice, but like, yeah.
Think Depression, but a driving level. That is to say the level, not the tragic illness.
Yeah, I mean, in the files for the game, you can find like tasks referring to like Save Goofy Goober and Bungee challenges, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I feel Sunday Driving was originally going to be a platforming level.
Which, if they cut that out of development, I can understand that decision, because it would probably just be too similar to Depression.
No, they just wanted to see us drive a sandwich.
Yeah. Alright, so now we are done with Sandwich Slumber. So now we're gonna do the first sliding level in the game. This one comes after 3K. It's called Rub-a-Dub-Dub Slip Slide in the Tub, and we are sliding down a canyon in a tub. Down the Okie Dokie Corral.
This is actually a cool level to watch, though, and it's
Yeah.
shorter.
So the reason we're knocking down all these towers is because they're spreading Plankton's evil propaganda of Plan Z all the way across Bikini Bottom. And, We can't be having that, you see.
Each sliding level in this game has a specific trick to it. Like this has dumb jump.
Yeah.
Rock slide has like 50,000 skips.
Yeah.
And Googly Eyes and Smelly Knickknacks has guess jumps.
Which is good because Rock Slide is very long casually.
It's like 6 minutes or something.
Yeah, and then the speed run it's a little under 4 minutes. Alright, so this is Dumb Jump. We're gonna attempt to slide off and then jump across this entire canyon. And we got a first try.
Alright, nice.
Yeah. Okay, so that's not the last time we're gonna be seeing that trick. We're gonna do it one more time, and then that's the last time we're gonna be seeing this level.
We used to do this level 4 times, but then that's where the old route came in, where we only had to do 2 because we skipped a bunch of targets. And because we skipped a bunch of targets, we skipped cutscenes, and because we skipped cutscenes, we can't do the ring challenge.
Yeah. At this point, that's not old route, that's ancient route. Like, there's
Yeah,
too
it was
much.
a long time ago.
It's too much.
I remember when that was a new thing, though. That was hype.
So we just jump up there, no big deal. That skips going around.
There
I'm not
are
good at
invisible enemies there, by the way.
Yeah, if you get dumb jump first try, those enemies don't spawn correctly. And neither does that target, so we're just kind of hitting this tower down with, like, literally thin air. And it lands
4 out
on
of
thin
5
air.
towers.
Yeah, 4 out of 5 towers. We skipped 2 towers, and yet we've still... Wait, it says we knocked them down. We did it.
Because we skipped 2 targets, we saved like upwards of 50 seconds doing dumb jump just then. But dumb jump normally saves like around 40 or 35.
Yeah, it's a stupid essential trick.
I think it's cool, but there's a reason why they called it dumb jump.
It's not even that bad anymore. Like, we're talking about renaming it. Alright, so that was Rub-a-Dub-Dub. Slip, slide in the tub. That was the first time anyway. So we knocked down all those towers. The towers we skipped aren't going to be there correctly when we get back into that level. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to do dumb jump again if we want to be able to complete the level. And that makes the ring challenge impossible to do because you have to follow the normal route to do that. So, but it's okay because we're not going to do that. Also, I missed the skip there. Okay. So now we're going to do Rub-a-Dub again. It's basically second verse, same as the first.
That level the Tedious just entered is where the new route comes in, by the way.
Yeah. Well, you
We
could
just
argue
get one
that-
token in now.
You could argue that this segment is where it starts to kick in because we used to do this late.
Oh yeah, we used to do this very, like, over an hour later,
Yeah.
I think. But I like that we do them both back to back now because that means we can just do both of the dumb jumps straight away.
Yeah, because missing dumb jump hurts.
Basically what the new route does, it adds it moves a segment further into early game, so early game's slightly longer at first, but then we skip almost the entirety of another level. So we're making like early game longer, mid game shorter, and late game a bit longer as well. But we're adding a lot of cool tech.
I missed dumb jump.
The new route involves a lot of tech that was previously thought to be completely useless.
Yeah, you're gonna be seeing that in Bubble Blowing Baby Hunt 2. Alright, that was a meaty dumb jump, man. I had full control over it.
Missing dumb jump loses around 15 seconds.
Yeah, so that's actually the second major mistake of this run. So we're not doing bad.
Yeah, this pace is completely fine.
I can still PB off this. Tell me I won't. I don't even know where my time save is anymore. Oh yeah, it's a number, man.
You have like 40 seconds in Monster Skip, don't you?
Yeah, but let's face it. No guarantee we're getting that. And
Very
then
finicky trick.
I have a little bit with floating block skip as well. So you see these things that I'm collecting. I'm gonna mention them now. These are called manliness objects. And every time you see that gauge up there, you see it fill up. That is when we are able to upgrade a new ability. And that is very essential for Frogfish. It makes that boss fight very short. It's important to note in this route, doing this route gets rid of a lot of them, So how you manage them is crucial. It's probably the hardest part of this route.
Yeah, we need 5,000 in SCDA before the end of the level.
Yeah.
If you don't have it, then your run's probably dead.
Yeah, because you will lose like upwards of a minute if you don't have it.
We never used to have to care about it, but now it's actually vital.
Yeah, Chris is always ahead when I watch him do it, but I always make all of mine up in the mid game.
In my PB yesterday, I looked at when I had barely enough just before the end. I had 5,001.
Oh.
I had to get an extra like 200 in my way. I don't know why I did it wrong.
That's optimized. Alright, so we're doing slide jumps now. Let's see how this goes. Alright, that was clean. That was basically flawless.
That was amazing.
Yeah. Okay, so every time you touch the slide, you have a 2-frame window for where you can jump and you can get additional jumps. It's 2 frames because you can sometimes get only the double jump, and that carries the direction you're going, which is fine if you're going up the slide, but bad if you're going down the slide. And there's another frame where you can basically control where you're going, and you get both jumps. So it's effectively a 2-frame, but if you don't know how to react to getting the double jump, then it's essentially a 1-frame.
On the GameCube version, that level is 30 FPS. So it essentially is the equivalent of a 4-frame window if it were in 60 FPS.
Yeah, but on Xbox and Xbox 360, it's 60 frames per second, so it's effectively 2 frames.
GameCube, apart from PlayStation 3, GameCube is probably the worst version of the game, but it is technically the easiest.
Yes, yeah, it is.
If you're doing all the hard tricks, that is.
Yeah. GameCube can still get in the top 10.
Oh yeah, it could actually. It can get into... Doesn't GameCube lose like 3... Yeah, it loses 3 minutes.
But, well, one thing to consider is we don't know if floating block skip works on that console or not. Because it doesn't work on PlayStation 2.
Oh, yeah, that's true, actually. Actually, no, it does work, because Alex does it.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go, then. So, yeah, GameCube is not a bad option if you're trying to learn the game. PlayStation, on the other hand...
Yeah.
I learned this game on PlayStation 2. The first run I ever submitted to the boards was top 10, so, I mean, you take that as you will.
The leaderboards have changed significantly, though, since then.
Yeah, the game is very competitive now.
I used to have a 151 when you were in top 10.
And for almost a month, I was 2nd place. People are beating Red Moss now, which is such an alien concept to me. Because, like, people recently started beating Cole, and I was like, hey, that's cool. Like, he's 8th now. He's tied 8th. And now Red Moss is 4th. It's just so weird. Like, we're getting fast.
We're gonna make this game even faster.
And Chris already did. He made it almost 2 minutes faster.
He's Chris.
He's Chris.
Shoutouts to Chris.
Shoutouts to Chris. Not
Oh yeah, this level is better than the other driving level because there are different routes that you take, and it's around the same length.
Yeah, you need to collect all these keys to open this gate, and you can only do that by passing through a minimum of 3 laps, and that's fine because that's how many laps you need. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna grab this key and then warp back to the front, and that's gonna save us a little bit of time and then a bit of maneuvering. And it might not look fast, but you used to have to store your nitros, whereas in using this, you can use them as freely as you want.
This is pretty much the only driving level we can just spam them as you want. But in most of the other levels, you need to actually manage them, especially in Sunday driving when we get to that.
Yeah, because you can't nitro, like, you can't really nitro in lap 1 of that one. Alright, so this is the first boss fight of the game. It is the frogfish.
It lasts about a minute.
Yeah, I gotta upgrade Smash.
You upgraded Frogfish.
Yeah, I'm changing my upgrades around, because I'm recording a run for the Smash.
Oh yeah, didn't mention this earlier, but the upgraded cartwheel gives Patrick a huge hitbox, which is very, very useful.
Yeah, and it doubles
Especially
the
for hitting
damage.
TNT along the way.
Yeah.
It
So
also does more damage to Frogfish.
basically, it pays for itself. Alright, so whenever we land that slam, we're able to stun enemies, and what you saw there was, while it was recoiling from the damage, it fell back, and the stun was still able to hit it, so it stunned it before it could go back down. And then I was able to manipulate the positioning of the tongue coming back up, so I was able to polish off the last 2 hits very quickly. So that was a good frogfish. Now this is the second level, the second slide level of the game. This is Rock Slide. And like we said, very long casual level, very considerably short level for us when we know what we're doing.
It's about 3.5 minutes, but there are such huge skips that it's like pretty like entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
Like if you know what's coming up.
What we're gonna do here is we're gonna get hit by this monster jumping across here, and we skipped having to go all the way around.
I have lost a run to that before.
Yeah, you mostly lose runs to that on all tokens and 100% because the cycle is different.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you need to jump on the first segment instead of the second one.
You're gonna see us smash into a lot of crates and stuff along the way.
Yeah.
We need as manlies as we can get.
So you see this tunnel I'm in? Well, now would be a good time to talk about the Xbox 360's emulation. So for whatever reason, it will randomly replace a texture in anywhere. It'll randomly replace a texture with another one. And what happened to me was on the 100% run that I did, that ended up getting world record. That tunnel back there was a wall of Goofy Goober tokens.
Yeah, you'll probably see quite a few technical glitches through this run. If they don't show up at all, I'll be really surprised.
Yeah, I hope we see some.
They're actually really cool. They're exclusive to 360.
Yeah. Alright,
so at least we got that going for us.
It's something. So now we're coming up to the scariest part of the game.
Supposed to spook them.
We are supposed to spook him, but come on, we don't want to scare him too bad. This game won't get accepted. Like, no one will be able to watch it. Yes, at least 18 plus, at least. So this is the scariest part of the game. We're gonna enter this cave, and I'm not sure that we're gonna come back out. I don't know about this purple. It's not looking good.
I don't know how to feel.
Oh goodness!
Holy! Oh.
We're live. We made it. Yeah, that is the jump scare in Rock Slide. It's horrifying. It has made runners fall out of their chairs in horror.
Sin.
My good man, Sin. Lost his run to being completely scared by that monster.
I like how he just stopped the run.
Yeah.
He just saw it. He just couldn't continue.
No, he finished that run. He kept going until Sunday driving, and he failed Sunday driving. So he was just like, "TDs, can you finish my run?"
Yeah, he did do that, by the way.
Yeah, and he just gave me a splits, and I finished this run. And I still beat his PB by like 10 minutes.
I love Sin.
I love Sin too. So yeah, we got that split up here. You can go 2 different ways. We go in the right way because it's a little bit faster.
Optimization.
Optimization.
We're coming up to a huge part of this game.
This is
probably the hardest segment.
This is the hardest segment of the game. It is now that we're men.
Well, it depends on the tricks. If you don't do the 2 most notorious tricks for it, it's probably pretty easy.
If you don't do the 1 frame trick that we're gonna see in a little bit, I would say SGDA is harder.
SCDA is a nightmare on some of your first runs if you do a lot of the harder tricks.
So we just got the SpongeBob ability, and we're gonna upgrade that immediately. because that's gonna give it a bigger hitbox. And it's gonna make these things easier to turn. These wheels.
That's also why we do a combat arena in I'm Ready Depression later on instead of early.
Yeah.
It's just because we have the bowl and we use that a lot.
It makes that combat arena like exponentially faster.
Really old runs of this game that are like 150s or maybe not even sub 2. They used to do it like really early game for some reason.
Ooh. Alright, so we're gonna attempt to jump this gap here. With a jump, spin, jump. We got a first try.
That skips a cutscene and having to bowl a platform.
So what we're doing here is we're cycling between our moves on this slide. And this is called slide bashing. And I use it to string together all sorts of combos with different abilities. And that gives you a lot of manliness objects. Kind of getting screwed over by this guy though. And the manliness objects, like we said, are very important with this route. So I try to make up all of them in the mid-game, which is what I'm trying to do now.
After SCDA though, we don't have to care about them anymore. Like,
Yeah,
we'll just get enough anyway.
Yeah. You only had to upgrade one more thing after that. I upgrade 2 things, but you only have to upgrade 1.
Yeah, we upgrade Karate Spin before the final boss for safety.
Yeah, it makes
It makes a massive difference.
it makes it free.
But it loses like 5 seconds. I shouldn't have done it in my run. I could have gone to 132.
Well, you could have also not beaten your time.
Yeah, that's true.
Alright, so we did
That'd
the
be
second
risky
bungee
now.
challenge. That's not quite the last one. We're gonna have one more, but it's kind of much later on.
This level doesn't have a SpongeBob challenge for some reason. Oh yeah, it's because of the combat arena.
Yeah.
Thank God we are not doing that in this run.
Yeah, Purple has had a good history with that combat arena.
When we used to have an old category, extended chi percent, one token was the reason I didn't run the category, because it's many years long.
Yeah, and it's also brutal. And in that category, you weren't allowed to upgrade you weren't allowed to have all health upgrades cheat, so you had to upgrade them yourself, and you might not always have those points.
I'd always upgrade to like 5 health, but I'd die every time anyway.
So you remember that jump scare? This is us getting our revenge. We just stand at his back and bowl into him, and that's enough to damage him. We do that 6
We
times, I
outspook
believe.
him.
Yeah, we spooked the spooker. And now we're moving on to part 2 of Now That We're Men, which is... You might feel like up until now, we haven't really been doing much in this level, but we're about to do a lot.
Yeah, huge things come up, and in the level after this,
These
a lot
are
of
the
things
run
happen.
killers. So we're gonna skip this puzzle area. We're gonna jump on this door here, and then we're gonna jump on this trampoline. And it gives us enough height to where we can just jump to the other side.
You're supposed to bowl the trampolines, and they give like specific heights, and you're supposed to figure out which ones go with which to cross the path. That's slow, and we don't like slow.
Yeah, I didn't go to school to do puzzles. Alright, so this is Chris Skip, found by the Chris. We're gonna jump into the lava, bash boost, jump on the monster's head, bash boost again, and then we can get this token.
Sub to Chris.
Sub to Chris. You used to have to come back here after getting the throw abilities, Patrick. So I'm gonna attempt monster skip. I might not get it, but that just is what it is. Oh, that was so close.
That was really close.
Yeah, I'm just gonna cut my losses. But you can basically see how that's supposed to work. We're supposed to land on that platform up there, and that's how we get that token. But
Doing that saves around 15 seconds. I timed it a few days ago.
yeah, I found that double bash method to it just recently. Ooh. Okay, well I didn't make it
You
to
can
the
just
other
load
side.
to the...
Oh yeah. I'm not used to not doing monster skip. That's how I learned the game. I've always done monster skip, so...
I have not.
So, when we are on the way to that token, we're gonna do this challenge called the Floating Block Challenge. And this is the hardest skip in the game. It is called the floating block skip. We're gonna cartwheel onto one of the blocks, and that's gonna be able to spike us upward. And if we can get a 1-frame jump, then we can get to the platform with the token on it. So let's see how it goes. Alright, I didn't get the frame. Brutal. I'm sorry, I have to kind of save my words right now because there's an audio cue for this trick. Alright, that's not bad. So yeah, you spike yourself upwards and you can get the 1-frame jump where you can have both jumps. And that's enough to get you up to that platform. That was really good.
Both the setup and the 1-frame you have to get both. So if you mess up the setup, you're not gonna. It doesn't matter if you get the 1-frame or not.
Yeah, and it's also especially brutal considering like it loses an upwards of 20 seconds. It's guaranteed you lose you at least quite a bit.
So I think I have to do it. I think I have to get a first try on my runs now, because I don't do monster.
Yeah. Chris got it first try in his latest world record. He had a perfect now that we're men. It was really crazy to watch.
Yeah, it was like a 5:18.
It was incredible.
My goal's a 5:37, so that says a lot.
Yeah, monster skip is pretty essential. Alright, so that's now that we're men. That was the hardest segment in the game. And now we're gonna be doing Shell City Dead Ahead, which is also hard. So, you know, we got 2 hard back-to-back segments. It's pretty rough.
These 2 are probably the biggest run killers. Oh, you have enough. You have more than enough.
Yeah, more than enough. I usually never have that much. I have to make that stuff up in this level. So I don't even have to do cave strats. But I'll show it off anyway, because it's pretty important.
We're supposed to have, like, 4,600 at this point?
I make it just fine with 4,200.
Oh, I don't.
Alright, we got toilet skip first try. That might not look very hard, but there's a bunch of invisible walls surrounding that seat. They really didn't want you to get over there.
Too bad.
Too bad. Alright, so we're destroying these TVs now, much like the propaganda towers in 3K and Rub-a-Dub. It's spreading his propaganda across the sea, and we can't be having that. We gotta shut him down. So, the way I cartwheel into everything in this cave is very important, because it gives you a lot of manliness points, because you're hitting all those TNTs, and while you're hitting all those TNTs, you're actually doing damage to that spitter, so you're getting the manlies for killing that spitter as well. And instead of going around here to do all that swinging, we can just cartwheel off and then get a double jump to be able to skip that entire thing. That's certain.
I haven't done that level in so long.
Yeah. I don't like thinking about it. Alright,
oh,
so,
you do that strat.
Yeah. So we got damage there, and that's gonna give us a damage boost onto this ice block. And we can store up speed by continuously looping around, and that's enough to get us out of bounds here.
Yeah, we skipped a massive part of the level that way.
Alright, so there is something that I probably should do here, but I haven't done it enough yet. Purple would probably be better at explaining it, because he does it regularly in his runs, but what we do here is different.
When we come back to this segment later, you'll see a tiny bit of backtracking to walk to the SpongeBob challenge, basically. We'll get more into that later.
Yeah. So this is 3-meter skip. This is what I would consider to be the second hardest skip in the game. It's much like slide jumps that we did in Bubble Blowing Baby Hunt, but these are harder because it's just a lot that you have to do back to back. So we're gonna set the crate up there so we can ledge grab on the slide, and then we can start jumping up. Alright, that wasn't bad.
That trick is usually considered harder than the BBBH slide jumps that you saw earlier because you do about twice as many. However, I find this trick easier.
Yeah, I think that 3 meter is actually a little bit easier because the walls will catch you, and you have like quite a bit of a window to try and get that jump back. Alright, so we ledge grab here, and that's gonna give us the warp for the floating block challenge. This is the final floating block challenge in the route, and it's also the last one in the game.
Good thing there are no 1 frames here.
So the ice blocks should be slowing down my movement, but sometimes when you do this level, it just won't register that correctly. So we're rocking a normal speed on these ice blocks.
Alright, we're also very close to the end of the level, by the way.
Yeah, after this is
After
like
this, we have another like 50 seconds left of the level. And then we get to the second boss of the game.
Yeah, the rest of the boss fights are very short except for the final boss, which I like.
The final boss is like perfect length, really.
Yeah, and it's really cool as well.
I like it a lot.
Yeah. Like, people will complain about this, people who are early into their lifespan of running this game. But I'm very thankful that it's like that, because it's just a really cool fight.
It's very specific to this game.
Yes.
Like, you're not going to see that kind of boss fight like anywhere else, really.
Alright, so we just finished the floating block challenge for Shell City Dead Ahead. That one's considered pretty difficult, especially if you are regularly falling off, because then the timing is a lot more tight. But you pretty much know what to do at this point. Alright, so we skipped that TV back there, so that didn't break the wall down. So we're going to need to do that ledge grab to be able to progress in the level. And we're gonna skip hitting this button, past this fan here. We're gonna jump right up on top of it, and we're gonna get to the end portion of Shell City Dead Ahead.
This is why you need to upgrade the throw, by the way.
Yeah, so you can hit these buttons early.
Otherwise, you're losing way too much time.
Alright, I got him.
Ooh. I usually am not able to hit that button on the right.
Now, I cartwheel around there, so that the spitter doesn't spawn, just so it's extra safe. You can actually skip the stuff spawning in if you cartwheel around like that. Alright, that's Shell City Dead Ahead. It was really good, actually.
That was really, really good. I can even track some of your times in the DM, by the way.
Oh, okay. Alright, so
One of them is for BBBH.
this is the second boss fight in the game. It is Dennis.
It's him.
It's him, it's Dennis. It's Dennis 1.
We'll get back to him later.
We'll get back to him later. So if you hit him before he lands where he's gonna go, then he can do double damage, and that's enough to easily defeat him.
I don't even do that. Is that even hard?
No.
I don't know how to do it. I'll just learn it.
You just
after
have,
this run.
you have to charge up your shot so that you're not throwing it too early.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone beat Dennis without the upgraded throw. It's like impossible.
Yeah, you can't do that. So this is Sunday driving, and if you've seen the movie, you're probably scratching your head now. What the game developers wanted to do was to basically make more content, because it's kind of hard to make a game out of an hour-long movie. So what they reasoned with is basically after the Dennis fight, they're taken away by the Cyclops to Shell City, and during this they're having a dream, and they need to get out of this dream by following Goofy Goober, because he knows the exit.
It should be noted that this game was made in about a year, so that, you know,
Yeah,
when
that's
you,
why
when
it
you know
uses-
that.
That's why it uses the same engine as Battle for Bikini Bottom.
The engine is great, though, so I'm glad they did.
Yeah. And like
It's like a perfect engine.
I did say that we're gonna have to follow Goofy Goober to know where to go. We're gonna ditch him in a little bit.
We can't do it on lap 1. It's specific to lap 2 for some reason.
Yeah.
That's why we're storing our nitros. We use like 1 or 2 in this lap.
I used 2, I think.
I use one, like around with the popcorn cart is, but
Yeah, I wanted to do it there, but I accidentally burned one. If I've taken damage by the time I get to lab 2, instead of taking the nitro route, I take the health route because this next part is a little finicky.
I take the health route anyway because it's faster than going around.
Yeah. So these ice cream balls are gonna fly, and they can bounce off and hit you multiple times. So I don't want any of that.
It's deadly.
It's pretty deadly. So I'm sitting on a decent stash of nitros right now. That's 6. We're balling it.
Yeah, around this time you usually have like 8 to 10.
I have 8 now.
And we're gonna use them all up in a minute.
I accidentally bonked on the tree, so I'm gonna nitro to get back up to the front.
That is A-okay.
And I'd say, okay, we can do it with 7. Alright, well, we're not getting that 8. Alright, so literally what we're gonna do here is we're gonna turn through the wall. And that's just gonna keep Goofy Goober away. It doesn't despawn him. There are ways to despawn him, but they're not... Well, they are faster, but they essentially make this segment a run killer, which you don't need to do. You don't need to go out of your way to make another run killing segment for something that...
Especially after the 2 other run killers.
Yeah, you want to break, which this is very good for.
We're also going to be doing another short, I guess, skip in a second.
Yeah.
It only saves like 5 seconds, but it pretty much guarantees that Goofy Goober's never going to catch up to you. Doing that saves like... Doing all of this combined and like skipping him saves like 20 to 30 seconds.
So we're going to jump over this rail using that slope right there. That's going to help us get another nitro along the way.
Did you know you can get over the second slope of there?
You can.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and because we were ahead of him, we could just do the shortcut again.
Yeah.
On that 3, you're supposed to go on like this water slide for some reason, but it's finicky and it's slow, so we're just gonna go the same way as the second lap.
The water slide literally just bullies you, like it bonks you all over the place. It's not fun.
You have to do in the ring challenge, don't you? In all tokens.
Yeah. Chris and I handle it very differently. Because the last stretch of the water slide is the hardest part. Because it has all these like sorts of different slopes. I don't nitro at all. Because I reason with that being that way you have the most control over the paddy wagon. Chris nitros all the way down it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nitros all the way down.
Yeah. Alright, so that's
I can
Sunday
imagine
driving.
doing that.
It's Chris, he's fast.
You're on a pretty good pace, by the way.
Yeah. This is a good run. Alright, so this is Googly Eyes and Smelly Knickknacks taking place in Shell City. We've gotten the crown back, and now we need to get back to Bikini Bottom. We're going to turn these faucets, and that's going to give us the sink, which is going to help us escape. And what I'm doing here is the optimal route for hitting all 3 of the faucets.
Look, it's what's his face.
Must have been something he ate.
Now you're seeing I'm taking damage on the on the way there, and I'm not doing that on accident. The reason why is because I'm going to do a death warp in a little bit, and it's going to save a considerable amount of time, and it's not hard, so ideally you should just go for it.
Yeah, we just abuse the checkpoint system.
Yeah, it can be a little scary if you don't know what you're doing, but at this point, pretty good. So we're gonna touch this red wire, and then we're gonna be defeated by the TNT, and that's gonna put us at the top of the red wire. So now we can hit the targets in an optimal order to knock the lamps down. And that order is yellow, orange, blue, red.
This, in my opinion, is the coolest sliding level to look at, because if you look at the background, you can see so much stuff going on.
Yeah, they put a lot of detail into this level.
Do things in Bikini Bottom.
They had to make up for the driving somehow.
The driving's not that bad, come on.
I know, but I don't know. I much prefer the sliding levels.
Oh, I missed a jump to the orange wire. Well, it's not that bad because the blue wire is it's like on the way.
Yeah, a small mistake like that can potentially lose a lot of time though, depending on which one you miss.
Yeah, if you miss if you miss the yellow or the orange, you're losing a lot of time. So now we're on the blue wire, so we're gonna hit the target up here. Run dead? Probably not.
You didn't lose that much time. Like 20 seconds.
Alright, so we're gonna try and jump onto the blue lamp from the blue wire. This is not intended, but it's... Alright, well,
It's fast.
I was gonna say it's a little difficult, but we got that pretty quickly.
Yeah, it saves like 10 seconds in comparison to going around. It's like the only real trick that we can do in this level.
Yeah. Well, you death warp.
Oh yeah, the death warp.
Alright, so we finished our escape, and now we're gonna take on a familiar face. Would you kindly like to tell me what it is? What is it? What is it, Purple?
Something tells me that it is most likely Dennis.
It's
The
Dennis
second
too.
time.
It's Dennis too. Alright, we're gonna bowl. We're gonna try and get the quick kill by doing this. Alright, so we got that double damage. Ooh, why didn't it damage? Alright, well, I don't know why that double damaged, and why the first one just didn't damage at all. That was considerably decent, but it wasn't optimal.
We were on David Hasselhoff's back, by the way. Consider that.
You done good. So, now we're gonna grind out 3 more tokens. And
How you doing the jumps?
I'm not gonna do the jumps. I don't even do those in runs.
I'm gonna do them in runs probably.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, you're at a point where you kind of need them. You kind of do.
Yeah.
Basically,
We're talking about 2-frame jumps.
No, they're 1 frames in this one.
Oh, they're 1 frame? They don't feel like 1 frames.
No, yeah, they're 1 frames because you don't have the weird frame.
Oh, right. Well, in that case, yeah, the 1 frames up a yellow wire using sliding mechanics, and they save upwards of 15 seconds each, I believe.
Yeah.
But you can do it. You can only do it twice. But it's much more punishing if you miss them the second time around. So it's better to just, if you're gonna do them, it's better after this to only go for 1.
Yeah, that's the only strat that I don't currently do in my runs.
Monster Skip's the only one I don't do.
I'm wondering if there's like a console difference with that one.
I don't think there is because when Cole switched to Xbox, he didn't note that it felt different.
Yeah, it didn't feel different for me when I switched from PS2 to Xbox 360.
It's probably the exact same.
Yeah. Alright, so that was time challenge. Now we're gonna do ring challenge. It's not quite as fast, but it's still a pretty fast token. And this is these are the last sliding tokens that we're gonna be grinding out. Sliding is just in general faster than driving.
There are no nitros though here, but obviously we make up for it with just because they're faster in the first place.
Yeah.
Even Rock Slide isn't that long, but it's the longest one.
Yeah.
But after this, you will not see any more sliding, and you will only see 1 more instance of driving.
Yeah. And I like the last driving level a lot because it's like
I like it.
yeah, it's the end. Like it's your last joyride on a good run.
A Cyclops is scary, by the way.
Yeah, not quite as scary as the rock slide monster, but we
Not-
already got
not quite
revenge.
Not quite as scary as when the texture glitch makes him SpongeBob for some reason.
Dude, I got that,
That
but
seems to
like,
happen.
okay, so we're talking about texture glitches once again, because there's been a lot in the community that are really funny. One time, the Cyclops' textures were replaced with SpongeBob's. One time I got a Cyclops, well, okay, the texture that replaced the Cyclops for me was the Paddy Wagon. To go.
The final boss, no one has ever seen a texture glitch for it, really, apart from me, where he looked like a robot.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Robot texture glitches are particularly interesting because I have gotten a robot SpongeBob 3 times, so it is reoccurred. It has reoccurred and differently each time. Because I first got it actually on this segment. I got it.
I had a robot paddy wagon before.
Oh yeah, I did too. The steel paddy wagon. Yeah, we're just talking about our favorite texture glitches. I think the 100% world record one is up there. I think it's.
My old tokens run in Weenie Parkin, there's a huge rock in the distance. Like, there was a massive Patrick on that rock. I've never seen anything quite like it.
That's pretty good. Alright, so now we're grinding out our last token for this segment.
Very short level, though.
Yeah.
It's like a minute 20 for this.
And then after this, we're going to be doing the final platforming level. The first half of it, anyway. Welcome
We used to do it in one segment, but now it's split into two.
I don't understand why it was ever done like that. That's obviously slow.
What is slow?
Doing it all in one segment.
It's because we had enough tokens at that point.
Oh, did you?
So we just kind of did it.
That's weird. Then where did you backtrack for the late game?
Like when we went into Knucklehead, it'd be like you don't have enough Goofy Gooba tokens.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I don't know why anybody ever thought that was fast, because you're adding a load. Yeah,
That's cool.
I wasn't around when that route was made, and I failed to see how anyone could have thought that was fast.
We all used to be pretty dumb.
Nah, come on.
I've seen the changes in this game, and they're so obvious whenever they happen.
Well, the latest one wasn't very obvious.
Oh yeah, the latest one was actually really cool, but a lot of them are more like obvious though.
Yeah.
It's like somebody's like, I'll try this, and then it kind of works.
Alright, so now we're gonna do Welcome to Planktopolis Minions. And this is where we unlock the final ability of the game. This is something I really like about the run. Each platforming level, aside from No Cheese, has an ability to unlock, so this run really just picks up in mechanics, like from start to finish. There's just more to do.
Look at this place. I hope my pineapple's still okay.
Alright, so we're gonna bash onto this button, and then jump onto the wall. That's gonna help us skip past that spike barricade. That's a bit finicky, so I'm glad I got that first try.
This is the final bungee challenge.
It's pretty rough if you don't make the cycle, so we're gonna try and make this cycle real quick. We have our infinite bungees again. Alright, let's see if I can get it. Ooh, yes! Oh, that was good.
That was fast.
That was good. We hit all the targets in the middle if we can make that cycle.
That's quite tricky, however, it is nothing in comparison to the token we're about to get to.
Yeah, we're out of bounds now, and we can clip back in if we angle ourselves just correctly. Saving a lot of time there, because I actually figured out how to do that consistently. I never knew until now.
I just turned the camera around and I like jump into it.
Alright, so we're Patrick. We're gonna hop on down here. We're gonna get the warp for this challenge. And then grab this ice block. I don't know how to do the faster method that you guys do.
You literally just walk.
Yeah, I found this reroute, but they found a faster way to do it. You can one-frame that token. I missed it, though.
Oh, I didn't even think to do that.
Yeah, you can warp to the combat challenge. Alright, so this is the scariest token in the game. It's especially scary because of how late it is. This is the first combat arena that we do. Did you see that? Did you blink? All right. Well, that was
Want to
crazy.
see me do it again?
Want to see me do it again? All right. So we're about to see our last. No, this isn't the last time we do Patrick. Yeah. Okay. So this is the last token that we're gonna be getting in this level for now. We're gonna come back later. We're gonna ledge grab right here. That's gonna get us out of bounds. It's as simple as that.
I used to do a much harder method that was slower until literally today.
Oh my god.
I watched Chris's run. I was like, that's so obvious.
So now we're cartwheeling. We're surfing through land again. We can just kind of snag this token all the way from out of bounds.
Because we get the token, we can also skip a huge part of the level.
Yeah, we skipped doing the temple, which was really long.
It's several minutes long.
So we're gonna warp back to the first token of this level to get the final ability in the game.
Yeah, we upgraded immediately as well.
Yeah, that's when I split.
I split when warping to Depression.
Alright, so this is the Sonic Wave guitar.
Metal core.
It serves basically the same use as the Cruise Bubble in Battle for Bikini Bottom. However, this one is much cooler. And we're gonna see our first guitar challenge.
All the guitar challenges unlock once you have this ability.
Yeah, that's how we do the new route.
Do you want to know what pace you're on?
Sure.
Low 135.
That's not bad.
That's pretty damn good.
It's pretty good. I think I'm pretty rusty right now, but that's really good. I don't usually mess up late game either.
Too fast.
Too fast. Too furious. Steam King?
We can't really do anything to speed up these challenges, but luckily they're not that long anyway.
Yeah.
This one's like 50 seconds.
Yeah, it's really dumb. So you might see this target that I'm about to hit, and you might think, oh, that's what ends the challenge. So what, in theory, if that were true, what we could do is we could angle ourselves so that we can hit it immediately from the start. That target is not what ends the challenge. What ends the challenge is the final ring. So unfortunately, that doesn't work. It would speed up one of the upcoming guitar challenges by a huge margin.
That would save like 3 minutes total, probably, if we could do that. It's fast.
So this is the final combat arena that we're going to be seeing. We are back here in this very early combat arena with powers that we obtain later on, so they're more powerful. So we're going to be able to knock these guys out really quickly. There are 3 waves to this, and we just kind of bowl them like bowling pins. And I'm standing in the back here, just so they come to me in this one spot, so they're lining themselves up when they come across. Alright, you see I hit a lot of enemies that way.
Isn't this the only one we do apart from Plank?
Yeah, because there's only 4 in this game.
Bikini Bottom. One.
Yeah, the one in BBPH is way too long, and the one in Another Men is way too long, and if it were in this run, I would not run it.
Yeah. In the later combat arenas, if you are doing all tokens or 100%, what you would do is you would, instead of throwing the sponge ball, you would spam the guitar in place, because that does more damage than the sponge ball, and the sponge ball is not enough to instantly defeat enemies in those later ones, but the guitar is. So that's what you do if they start getting close. So now we don't really need to worry about our manliness points, but I do want to get an additional one to play the final boss a little bit safer. It's also worthy to note that whenever I'm hitting an enemy, I can projectile it into another enemy, and that does damage to the other enemy. So I'm doing a lot of damage here. That's a lot of damage. Oh boy. Alright, I only have hammer enemies left. That's fun.
Yeah, I don't like them.
So, let's talk about that combat arena real quick. That was another one of the few mistakes in the new world record. It was just kind of sloppy. The new world record is pretty optimized.
It is, in fact, Chris.
Alright, so that's it for I'm Ready Depression. That's the last we'll be seeing this level. And this is where the new reroute really starts to kick in. So we have this work for the guitar challenge now that we have unlocked the Sonic Wave guitar. We're going to do the Sonic Wave guitar, and then we're going to do quite a bit of interesting tech that we never used before. Let me see if I can mash the spin ability so I can get the karate gloves on this guitar. Ah, that's looking good.
I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah. I only know that because I saw Cole do it.
It's cool.
It's Cole.
You're seeing this level pretty much backwards right now.
Yeah.
And we're going to be walking across this. We're going to be doing it backwards, basically.
This is actually the first time you're seeing this level. Because we did slide jumps, and that was it. You saw the bar.
We used to do pretty much the whole thing, but the reroute caused this, and then you pretty much see nothing the first time, and the second time you get to see almost everything.
Yeah, but you see it differently.
Yeah, you see it backwards.
And it's interesting to note, because this is a Patrick level. You're going to do a good portion of this as SpongeBob.
Yeah, you're doing the majority of this as SpongeBob. But you do use Patrick,
Yeah.
just to be quicker.
Yeah, because you have to keep in mind that Patrick is the fastest in this game.
When's Patrick boost?
Ah, I can already see it. Pat my Rick.
My name's not Rick.
Alright, so we're almost done with the guitar challenge. This enemy can drop and hit your guitar while you're trying to finish.
I saw Chris do that before.
Chris has done that before. Oh my god, what is happening to the camera? I've never done that before, but I think I'm gonna start doing that. Oh, what am I doing? Okay. Yeah, we don't switch characters yet. So we're gonna bowl off of this platform, and when we cancel the menu, it's gonna keep it. So we're storing this text, and we're storing a warp back to that platform. So we're gonna jump on this, and it's gonna skip a cutscene. Oh, I didn't skip the cutscene.
I didn't skip it either, that's why I didn't get a 132 in my PV. It's really good.
Well, you got it off of a 1 frame, so.
Yeah. 1 frame is nice. We can't press R right now, otherwise bad things will happen. It'll send us back to the guitar challenge platform.
Yeah.
Unless we do a ledge grab, which we're about to do right now.
Yeah, ledge grabs will eat warps in this game, so basically you can activate stuff while you're trying to stay where you are. Like that. So now we're mashing jump so we can land up there. Yeah, that's necessary because it gets rid of the wood barrier. And we cartwheel in there so we get the warp for SpongeBob. I had to make sure I got it.
Because if you don't get it, yeah.
Yeah, that's a fun time loss. Alright, so we get that checkpoint and we warp back. And then what we're going to do is we're going to switch back to SpongeBob. We're going to cancel out the dialogue box. And then we're going to die as SpongeBob. And because we hit that checkpoint, we're going to spawn back over there as SpongeBob. And we're going to stand on this pink spot on the floor. We're going to shoot the guitar at all 3 of these buttons up here. You used to have to, in the previous route, you had to do this challenge. And it was extremely common to be able to choke this challenge. So one of the worrisome things in the late game is now gone. So we hit all the buttons and we get that token, and it warps us back up here.
We used to do another 1 frame called Disco Skip, but this time we're literally just gonna hit a button and then we just get the disco token.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So now the only one frame is info and block
That's a
skip.
headache waiting to happen.
You know, the best one. Alright. So I'm gonna have to space my jumps very carefully here so I don't fall off and die.
More of a man already.
Alright, I got it.
Ooh, is this where they make
The reason why you see me spinning before I go off of some ledges is so that because the spin will stall your vertical momentum in the air, so you can basically just travel horizontal for a little bit. You can carry that into the air when you're walking off of a ledge, and it won't eat the spin later on. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to stand at this corner, shoot at the wall, and that's going to give us the disco token.
You can do that. The part that you just saw tedious to, you can do that as Patrick, but the methods for it are pretty brutal and only save a few seconds, and one of them requires a one frame.
Yeah. The one frame one is really cool though. Basically what you would do is you would do a damage boost and you would soar all the way across that boiling room with an ice block.
Oh yeah, this is one of the easiest SpongeBob challenges in the game. We used to do it really early on, but now we have to do it over an hour in because of the reroute.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Whenever I like get to this point in a run, I think
No Barney.
I felt like I already did this.
But we do get to a cooler SpongeBob challenge a bit later on.
It's also possible to make a really, really fast cycle on this SpongeBob, and it's like it's so hard that it's really only fast viable right now.
Chris will find a way.
Chris will find a way. He is Chris. Alright, so we just get the token here. We can one frame it, but I always hit that button late. Alright, so now we're gonna do Shell City Dead Ahead 2. Yeah. We're gonna work to the Sonic Wave Guitar Challenge. And this one is particularly... what's the word I'm looking for?
Bad.
It's famous. Because people
You
hate
don't
it.
really know where to go. It doesn't really guide you on some of them.
Yeah, it's kind of...
So you need to, like, it's muscle memory, kind of. But
Yeah.
so if you're doing this for the first time ever, you will cry.
You had an interesting strategy.
Yeah, I would, as soon as I would go past the ring, I would pause immediately. So then I'd have a small window of time to see where the next ring is, so then I could go to it quickly. I did that for a few runs until I learned where they are, but I recommend that to anyone who's learning this game.
Yeah, you're eventually, if you're taking this game seriously, you're gonna do this challenge enough to remember where they are. So it's just kind of something you can put
A
on
lot
the
of them
mental
also
back
move.
burner.
Like in some of the other challenges, a lot of the rings don't move, but in this, they like to move a lot past this part.
Yeah. This segment here is the casual's nightmare. Because it loops and it dips in places that you don't expect, and you also have to climb up really high as well.
Coming up, there's especially a brutal part if you didn't do toilet skip earlier. No, not toilet skip, the cutscene skip before it. This part by here, there's usually an enemy there, and it's right in the middle of the ring, so if you hit it, then you lose like over a minute. But because we did a cutscene skip earlier, the enemy isn't there.
Yeah, there's a lot more cutscene skips in this game than it looks, because we also skipped the gunner one in Netherman.
Oh yeah, we did. I forgot that was even a cutscene.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it in so long.
after doing that skip, you can forget.
So this is also a brutal part if you don't know what's coming.
Yeah.
We're about to do a loop around as well. That got me as a kid. I thought you could just go straight to the target. No, you cannot.
Nope. Not today, buddy.
I remember literally crying when I was younger because I couldn't get it
And we got it first try.
fast.
Alright, so I'm not liking the lineup that I'm seeing on those other guys, so I'm gonna do something different. Something that I never really do.
Ooh, you're doing this.
I'm pulling out a marathon strat.
This isn't fast, but it doesn't lose much, and it's also cool.
Yeah, Because I was almost guaranteed to miss that strat if I went for it. So instead, I'm gonna do something that saves me. Oh, well, that's fun.
Oh.
Yeah, I just straight up missed the trampoline. Yeah. They
The
look.
other trick you're supposed to do is called XD boost.
Yeah, by very famously named. Yeah, the lineup is looking good now that I'm back here, so I'm gonna try it. Alright, I got it. So yeah.
You can do it as Patrick. Doing it with Patrick early game, it takes about 18 seconds to do, so a lot of runners just do it late game, but it does save 3 seconds over this method. However, this method actually looks really cool in comparison.
Yeah. What I tried to go for was I tried to do a guitar warp storage onto a bungee, or a trampoline. And if you're carrying vertical momentum, it will carry it when you get to that warp. So what it would have done is it would have launched me on top of that rising platform, and I could have just walked over to the sponge ball. That's something new that I found very recently, and I'm gonna implement it if the lineup isn't looking good for XD boost. I still can't believe that is the name of that trick, by the way.
It's my favorite.
I hope this gets into GDQ so I can just be like, alright, so now we're coming up to XD boost.
You have to say it with like a dead face.
Yeah.
You can't laugh at all. You just be like, yeah, it's XD boost.
Very stoic.
We also have to remember the order of when the platforms spin is yellow, red, blue, I believe.
Ooh, I got the one frame.
That is
Alright.
fast.
You saw one of them. You saw one of them.
That saves about... Some of them vary on how much they save, but if you're skipping... The animation itself is like 6 seconds.
Yeah, so if you're only skipping the animation, then you're saving 6 seconds. The rest of the time save comes from saving some walking. So now we're in Planktopolis 2. This is the last platforming segment in the game. It's also the third hardest segment in the game, what I would rate.
Yeah, I would consider... Well, I'd call Plank 1 harder because, yeah, don't have fun with that one.
It's gonna take you on a wild ride today.
Took me for a wild ride yesterday.
Okay, so we're gonna do a bash boost across this lava room using this Merv's rockets. Ooh, I accidentally bashed into it and I wasn't ready to react.
Otherwise, we'd have to go around, and that's not fast.
It's definitely not fast. Ooh,
Oh, whoa.
Alright, wasn't
I didn't
expecting
know he
that.
could hit you.
Yeah, he can still hit you. I've reacted to that plenty of times, but I just wasn't ready that time. He might do it again. Alright, well, what the heck? Okay, that just didn't work. That just didn't work. I want my mulligan. I wanna try that again. What? Alright, well. Alright. Okay, yeah, my bash button just wasn't working. So, you know what? Alright, we're trying again. Screw it.
Okay.
Okay, I'm making sure. I'm making sure. There we go. Alright, we're over here now.
That was an event.
That was an event that occurred. That is all you can really say. Alright, so we're gonna hit this button, and this is gonna be the last sponge ball challenge in the realm. And in the game, because we do all of them. This one is particularly famous because it has a fast cycle that I'm going to be going for. You need to bounce off of that second fan over there, and it's pretty rough because the geometry is not friendly. Ah, but I passed high school geometry with an A. Let's go.
He did it, boys.
Did it. Alright, this is by no means over, though, because there is a harder part coming up. I don't usually mess it up, though.
For me, usually when I get the first part, the rest of it's just easy in comparison.
I don't like this part. Alright, we got it just fine. You need to hang back on that block if the steam is going to be shooting at you.
Yeah, you're still on a good pace.
135.
I think you're on like mid 136 or low 136, but that's still good.
Yeah, for just pulling a run
For,
out, that's pretty good.
yeah, we didn't do any other runs before this. We just did a run.
Yeah. Well, we tried to record this a while ago. Like, by a while ago, I think I mean like 2 days ago. And my capture card just stopped working. But it didn't happen this time, and I'm thankful for that. Ew. Okay, what I'm trying to do there is I'm trying to jump onto the wall jump instead of having to do the entire puzzle.
It's called Wetsuit Skip, named after the man himself.
The man himself.
He was one of the world record holders for this game at one point.
Yeah.
For some reason, they all played on GameCube. Can't really answer why.
He's been off of this game for a while now, but he's just recently seen what we've done, and he's a very proud dad moment.
The last time I heard from him was when Chris, Remos, and Cole all did that movie race.
Ooh.
That was so long ago.
Yeah, that's pretty long.
This part by here gives you so many manlies that we're guaranteed to have enough to get an extra... You have enough to get 2 upgrades.
Alright, so what I just did there was I despawned these enemies that would originally spawn. I don't usually do that, but I wanted to make sure that this would end up just fine. And it didn't because I didn't time it correctly, but that's okay. These are the enemies that I despawned. It makes this a little bit harder, and it's a lot easier to have them, like, screw you up when you're doing the stash. I don't know if that was good enough. We're trying to... Yeah. We're trying to register a checkpoint on that platform over there. And that's gonna take us to the end of this level.
No matter how long it takes, it's still faster than going around, let me tell you.
Going around is really slow. I don't know if that was good enough either. Okay, there we go. So this is a mini boss fight. It is the Plankton statue. Alright. Sometimes when you land up there, your legs will flop around like that, and it will lose you a little bit of time. Because you can't really make this cycle. That's kind of rough. Alright, so that's the last of Planktopolis. That is the last platforming level, and we now have enough tokens to bring the paddy wagon back. Oh, yes.
You have 2 upgrade points, by the way, so if you want to... I don't know if you want to upgrade anything else.
Nah, I'm just gonna take the karate.
Usually you only have 1 upgrade point at this stage, so we just upgrade spin.
I managed my manlings very well this
It
run.
the upgraded spin, it's extended, like, SpongeBob's arms are extended, and it reflects the spitter's shots, which I take advantage of. And it also, when you do the spin in the air, it sends you in the air for longer, which is really good for the final boss.
So, you see that all these monuments are coming down. Some of them will, like, wall you off, and you can't complete the level, so you have to start over. I don't think we're going to be running into that issue, because the way we route our nitros on this level in particular is just to make it as, like, free as possible.
This is sandwich driving, except it's backwards and is better in, like, every way.
I love this level so much.
It is pretty good.
Like,
I think it's shorter than sandwich driving, actually.
It actually is. If we're ranking levels here, I would honestly put this one in top 5.
I might. I put it high, definitely.
Since we're not going to be seeing them this run, I want to bring up the other challenges for this level. The time challenge, the ring challenge, and the macho time challenge, you know, all that jazz, are really tight. They're very difficult. I think in my all tokens world record, I mess up ring challenge. I don't think I mess anything up in 100 though.
I lost like 5 minutes to that ring challenge.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. So I'm gonna be Same concept as before, really. I'm saving nitros to cut across this park.
Oh, I don't even manage them that well. I don't cut that much. I should probably do that.
Yeah, and I cut
I don't do
across
that
as well.
either. I'm learning things.
Yeah, it makes Knucklehead very quick. Alright, we nitro up this ramp, so we're not getting cut off. So we've officially finished the level. There's nothing really that can happen now. Alright, well that was funny. And now it's time for the final boss.
Alas.
We made it. The ride is over.
This is one of the coolest parts of the run.
This is
well, probably is
actually
the coolest part of the run.
It's actually my favorite.
This might be my favorite. Top
This
3
is-
for sure.
Turn the tables on Plankton. And this is the final boss of the game. So we're gonna upgrade our spin, and we have to fight Buckethead King Neptune. Set
Or
to
Robo
a-
Neptune.
Or Robo Neptune, depending on your console. Set to a rock theme with all these
Just me.
very cool stage lights hanging on around. We need to turn
The
all
best-
these tables.
On the 3rd phase, Goofy Goober Rock plays.
Well, let's not spoil it.
Oh, but I have to tell him it's too good.
Yeah, it's so good. So we need to turn all of these tables to reflect his shot off of Mr. Krabs, and we reflect it off of all the tables, and that's gonna stun him, so we can hit him with the guitar.
This challenge, well, this boss is actually pretty hard to do under pressure. So you might,
Definitely.
it's not uncommon to get hit once or twice in this fight.
I only ever get hit on the first phase because the fire forces you to jump very you have
Yeah,
to
I
jump
got
around
hit
it,
on the fire
but-
phase.
Alright, we still made that cycle. So now we're on
The way we
phase two.
manage our cycles is quite weird.
Yeah. So on phase 2, he's gonna have these rotating lasers going around. Kind of similar to phase 3, but phase 3 is gonna have a scenery change. If you want to talk like his laser cycles, 3rd phase is probably easier, but because of how the level changes for phase 3, I would say phase 3 is a little bit harder.
Phase 3 also has the spitters,
Yeah.
which is what Karate Spin can be useful for if you hit them from a distance.
Alright, so we just finished phase 2, no problem. And now, I inquire, probably the most important question of this entire run is, are you ready to rock?
I get so tense in this segment.
I love it.
When you get to the final phase and you see what kind of pace you're on.
Push toys away. So yeah, Neptune destroys like most of the floor, so where you can go is drastically limited here.
Your chops are too righteous.
Ooh, that's sketchy.
But not heavy.
That jump can be hard to clear.
That's one of us managers, even in the corners.
I stood there, so we would have to shoot it there.
When he hits you, he resets his cycle completely.
Yeah. So it kind of blows to get hit, but it's not that big of a deal.
You lose like a max of like 20 seconds, I think, depending on the phase.
A 137.47. And that was
Not a bad time.
the SpongeBob SquarePants movie any %. submitting for Summer Games Done Quick 2018. I hope you will consider this game, because it's very special to me and it's very special to many people, and a lot of people cherish it as part of their childhood, especially me. I love this game. So, with all of that said, I hope you will give this game strong consideration for your marathon. This was Tedious, joined by Purple Foundation, and have a great day.